Mhm. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar and to our channel. Today, we're going to look at some selected topics for, for some useful vocabulary for some selected topics of the Unified State Exam in the English language. Um, First off, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Valeria Sofia Sergeyevna Kovtoradze, and I'm an instructor at the Moscow Pedagogical State University. I've been teaching here for nearly 3 academic years now. And at university, I teach freshman students the general English course, as well as the IELTS preparation course. In the IELTS course, by the way, we have an exam task which is somewhat similar to the task we're going to be talking about today. Um, so, as for the structure of this webinar, first things first, I'll talk you through some general information about task number 3. And I'll give you some recommendations as to how to approach this task. Next, we'll go through some useful vocabulary for several selected topics which might come up in this exam. And each vocabulary set will be followed by a picture activity in which you will have to use the chat box to try and guess which of the words from the set I try to illustrate with this particular picture. And taking snapshots of the vocabulary sets is recommended at this stage as you're going to need this at the next stage. Speaking of which, the last stage is a gap fill exercise, which I have prepared for you. I've written some examples, which will include the words we're going to be covering today. And you will need to try and fill in the missing words, yes, to fill in the gaps with the missing words in these sentences in order to solidify your knowledge. And that's exactly what you will need the snapshots for. So if possible, please make them. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at what speaking task 3 of the English UK exam is about. So in this task, you're going to give an interview on a particular topic. On the slide right here, you can see a screenshot of a tape script for task number 3. But in real life, unfortunately, you will have no script in front of you, and you will only hear the interview questions. And you will need to answer each question in 3 to 5 sentences. A more detailed insight into how to approach these sentences you can see in our other episodes. And I want to show you a list of topics which can come up in the interview. You can see that there is a very wide scope of topics, from literature to shopping, from technology and the internet to your future career, from your food preferences to major environmental issues. The list that you can see on the slide right here is not exhaustive, but it includes most of the topics that you might encounter. And again, a more detailed list of topics and subtopics you can find in our other episodes. And I'm going on to give you some recommendations as to how to approach this task. So as you have a certain list of topics that can come up in the exam, you might be tempted to just learn your answer by heart, which is something that should be avoided. because your speech must be spontaneous and memorized answers won't score high at this exam. So I want you to bear in mind that you need to answer exactly the question that you hear. You need to avoid giving memorized answers. Remember that your speech must be spontaneous. You need to produce a natural reaction as if it's a real interview. And you only need to use topic vocabulary where it is appropriate. So don't don't use topic vocabulary, advanced topic vocabulary, just for the sake of using it, for the sake of impressing the examiner. No, that's not what should be done here. You should only use the vocabulary appropriate to the situation. Um, Moreover, here is one more thing that should be borne in mind. It is that, as you might have seen in the previous slide, some of the topics are pretty tricky and require some factual knowledge on your side. So you will feel much more confident and chill if you arm yourself with some basic factual information about some of the topics in advance. So if you still have time to do so, you can make a list of some notable historical features or prominent local landmarks, um, famous scientists and their inventions. Um, I don't know, maybe endangered animals, because all this information might come up. And in some questions and topics, you might unfortunately even lose scores if you make factual mistakes. For example, in the names or patronymics of Russian composers, writers, scientists, inventors, and other prominent figures. So yeah, it's better to be equipped with some basic factual knowledge about the topics in advance. Um, okay, so I told you that you shouldn't overthink the usage of vocabulary way too much. However, now that you still have a little bit of time left before the exam, it wouldn't hurt to review some topic vocabulary related to certain topics which can come up in the exam. So we're going to work our way up from the easiest topic to the most difficult one. And the easiest and most fun topic that I have selected is shopping vocabulary. So let's take a look at the first phrase that I have thought of. It is to shop around. So to shop around means to to look for the most suitable item or service for the lowest price. So instead of buying something like on the first impulse, you first shop around and compare the prices. Maybe you can find a similar item at a lower price somewhere. To be a more conscious buyer, yes, you need to shop around to do that. Then the next one on the list is a shopaholic, which is a term which also exists in the Russian language. You're all familiar with it, I suppose. A shopaholic is a person who enjoys shopping very much and does it a lot. A person who is literally obsessed with shopping is a shopaholic. Then the next one is pretty interesting as well. It is to go on a shopping spree. So a shopping spree is a short period of time in which a person buys a lot of things. So it's when you have a phase in life where you shop a lot and buy a lot of things. Then you go on a shopping spree if that happens to you at this particular time. Then the next one on the list is to try something on. If you try something on, you put a piece of clothing on to discover if it's the right size for you, or if you like it in general, or it's not your cup of tea. And to do this, shops have a fitting room, which is a room or area where you can put clothes on to try them on, yes, to check whether you fit before you buy them and whether this is something you want to purchase. The next one here is an expression everyone is familiar with, I suppose. This is a shopping mall or shopping center. So it's a very large building, usually under a roof, which contains a lot of stores of different brands and a lot of restaurants. So this is where most of us go shopping or go on a shopping spree. And a shop assistant is a person whose job is to sell products in a store. A shop assistant is someone you can encounter in any shopping mall. It's a person who can, I don't know, help you pick the right size or uh, like inform you about whether a particular product is in store or not, or where the fitting room is located, and so on and so forth. Let's take a look at the second half of the list, okay? So the next expression is to be on sale. So if a product in a shop is on sale, it can be bought at a lower price than their regular price. In other words, this product can be bought at a discount if it is on sale. If a product is good value for money, it is worth spending, it is worth the money that you have spent on it. So it means that the quality of this product matches its price perfectly. If a product is pricey, however, it is expensive. It is not something that everyone can afford. However, the term pricey is pretty neutral. It simply means that something is expensive. However, the next one has a more negative connotation. So if a product is overpriced, it means that it's too expensive, that it's not actually worth the money that you have spent on it. The last one that I decided to include here is window shopping. So, if a person has no money to actually buy something, they can still go shopping, but that will be window shopping because they will be simply spending time looking at the goods in the windows without intending to buy any of them. So now let's take a look at the picture vocabulary. Please use the chat box to try and guess which of the terms from the previous slides are depicted in pictures 1 to 4. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay, so in picture 1, we can see a fitting room. The answer to try something on also works because they're pretty much interconnected. Then the second picture illustrates some people on a shopping spree. The third picture illustrates a product which is on sale. Yes, because you can see a discount. And finally, the fourth one illustrates a shopping center or a shopping mall. Now, let's take a look at the second vocabulary set that I have prepared. This is music vocabulary because you might be asked about how much of a music fan you are, about some prominent Russian and global musician, composers, singers, and so on. So let's take a look at the first expression from here. It is music lover. So a music lover is simply a person who loves music. And I suggest that you actually avoid using the term meloman because it exists in Russian, but in English it is not actually used that much, or not even used at all, to be honest. So to replace it, I suggest that you go with music lover. Simple as that. Then the next one on is to be musical. So if a person is musical, it means that they have a skill in music or at least a great interest for music. So it's a person who has a good ear for music, who is musically gifted, or at least somehow related to music. Then the next one is an idiom to be tone deaf. It is related to someone's musical ability. So a person who is tone deaf is unfortunately not able to recognize different notes successfully or sing tunes accurately, right? Sing in tune. So it's a person who doesn't have a great musical ear. Then the next one is catchy. It's an adjective which describes a piece of music or a song. It is a music which is pleasing, easy to remember, and gets stuck in your brain. So it's like an earworm, basically. It's a song that you can't get out of your mind. Then the next term on the list is lyrics. The lyrics denotes the word lyrics denotes the words of a song, especially a pop song. So if you're asked to describe your favorite song, it's better to say that you like the lyrics in the song, but not the words or not the poetry in it. The lyrics is the go-to term here. The next one is vocals. It is quite obvious what it is, right? It's the singing in a piece of popular music. Um, it's what this it's the singer's job, right, to produce the vocals. Then, in relation to orchestras, there is a term conductor. Uh, it is someone who directs the performance of musicians in an orchestra. Okay, it is more of a classical music term. Then the next one is a choir. It's a group of people who sing together. For example, in church choirs and some others, maybe in university choirs. And this one mustn't be confused with the word chorus. Yes, although in Russian it sounds more like chorus, chor, right? In English it is a choir, so that's very different. Okay, and let's look at the second part right here real quick. The next one is a songwriter. So a songwriter is a person who composes words and music for songs, especially pop songs. Um, you can also refer to them as singers-songwriters. Then classical music, we pretty much everyone knows what this is. It is music that is considered to be part of a long formal tradition. It is it is believed to have lasting value, lasting artistic value. The main thing about this one is not to say classic music. The actual term is classical music, so this shouldn't be confused. Okay, next we have a gig. So a gig is like a concert, but a concert of only one musician or group, not several different musicians or groups. So when talking about this kind of event, it's better to use the word gig rather than concert. It is more natural than that. Next, we have to read music, which means to understand and follow written musical notes. So it means to be able to understand notes in written form to be able to understand sheet music and to be able to follow these notes while playing a musical instrument. And the last one is to play by ear. This one means to improvise while playing a musical instrument. So to play without having to look at the notes. Okay, now let's take a look at the second picture activity. I want you to take a minute to try and to try and label the pictures with some of the words from the list. So what can we see in pictures 1, 2, 3, and 4 here? Who do we see in pictures 1, 2, 3, and 4? Okay. Okay, musical performance. Okay, so pretty much. Okay, very good, very good. Almost all the pictures illustrate musical performances. And picture 1 is a conductor. Picture 2 is a choir. The third one is a gig. Excellent. And the girl in the fourth photograph, what can we call her? She's listening to music with a lot of enjoyment, and we can assume that she is who? We can assume that she is a music lover. Yes, simple as that. Right, absolutely right. She's a music lover. Okay, brilliant. Let's move on to the third set of vocabulary. So, technology and the internet is one more topic that can come up in this exam. Without further ado, let's dive into this one. One very useful term that you can apply to this topic is the adjective tech savvy. If someone is tech savvy, it means that they know a lot about modern technology, especially computers. So it's a person who is knowledgeable about technology, who is able to operate technology very well, and who easily figures out how new technology works. The next one, technophobe. This person is basically the opposite of the previous one. Someone who is a technophobe is a person who is afraid of using technology and therefore dislikes it. And this person can't use technology such as gadgets or computers with confidence. The next one is a term pretty much everyone is familiar with in the modern world. This is social media. So social media is pretty much the same as social networks. Uh, this is a term for websites and apps that allow people to communicate and share information with each other via the internet. The next one on is user-friendly, which is another nice adjective used to describe something computer-related, which is easy to use, which doesn't require any specialized knowledge to be able to use it, and something that's simple to figure out how to use, even if you're not very tech savvy, or even if you are a technophobe. Um, Next, we have another crucially important term, which is artificial intelligence. Um, I guess this one requires no explanation because nowadays pretty much everyone knows what this is. And we are like facing the consequences of the appearance of this phenomenon on a daily basis. But for us as Russian native speakers, it's crucial to bear in mind that in English it's artificial intelligence, but not artificial intelligent. So that is why I decided to use it in here, because it's a common mistake among Russian students. And then let's quickly look at the second half. So computer literate is another adjective. It's an adjective which describes a person who is simply able to use computers effectively at some decent basic level. This person is not necessarily tech savvy, right? But they are capable of using computers and other technology, other internet technology effectively. And in your IT classes at school, you are trying to develop computer literacy, so some basic ability to operate computers. Then the next one is everyone's favorite. This is a meme. Again, I don't think that this really requires a very detailed introduction. This is a viral picture, video, or maybe phrase, something like a joke or anecdote, which is spread very quickly on the internet. And you can also alter this thing using your own ideas and imagination, and you can apply it to different situations, and other people will relate to you if you do it successfully. um, Now the second one from the end is privacy. So this is something that people are very concerned about when using the internet, because it's our right to keep our personal information secret. This is what we need, let's say, passwords for, strong passwords for, right? This is what we need double identification for, to maintain our privacy on the internet. And the last one is an app, short for application. This is simply a computer program that is designed for a particular purpose, but actually this term is mostly used to talk about software that can be installed on your phone or tablet, rather than software that can be installed on your computer. So yeah, let's take a look at the pictures and again, name what you see in them. Okay, how can the guy from picture one be described? Okay, so some people have identified what's in pictures two and three. Okay, so definitely picture three is AI, and picture two is an app. And then the person in picture one is tech savvy. Absolutely, he's definitely computer literate and even tech savvy. And finally, uh, what does the fourth one illustrate? Right, so uh, you can see a strong password on the computer screen, which is a good illustration of which term? Privacy. Yes, that's spot on. Okay, and now let's take a look at the most difficult topic I have prepared for you. This is the topic of environmental issues. So I have only included the very basics in here. Um, if you are really into this topic, you can check out some vocabulary lists on the internet, which are more elaborate than this one. But if you are, I don't know, if you're only making your first steps in this direction, this set will be pretty much sufficient for you. So the first one is to pollute, yes, and pollution, which shares the same root, the same stem. To pollute means to make an area or some substance such as air, water, or soil dirty. Yes, by adding harmful chemicals to it, by throwing toxic fumes into the air, by maybe pouring toxic waste into the water, people pollute it. And then pollution, it is the result. Yes, it is the damage caused to water, air, soil, and other natural substances by throwing harmful chemicals or waste there. Then the next one is a term, again, everyone is familiar with. It's an endangered species or species, or in the plural form, also endangered species or species. So these are animals and plants that may soon cease to exist because there are now very few of them left alive. So these are the animals which are on the verge of extinction, on the verge of dying out, um, usually due to human activity. Okay, the next one is emission. So emissions are substances that are produced by humans and sent out into the air. And emissions are toxic. They pollute the environment. They pollute the air, and like they are associated with toxic chemicals produced in factories. Um, so this is like one of the main reasons behind air pollution, toxic emissions into the air. The next one is deforestation. Deforestation is cutting down trees in a large area or the destruction of forests by human activities. Um, yes, which results in, I don't know, which results in the loss of habitat in animals and which results in climate change because we have fewer and fewer trees left in those territories. The next two terms are interconnected. They are poaching and a poacher. So it's a very unfortunate phenomenon. Poaching means catching and killing animals illegally. And a poacher is an individual who catches and kills animals illegally. Then let's quickly look through the second half. Eco-friendly is a word everyone knows, a basic one. If something is eco-friendly, it doesn't pose any harm to the environment. To recycle. This is what all of us can do to make the environment a bit better. So it means to sort and collect rubbish, yes, to separate rubbish in order to treat it and turn it into something new, into something that can be used again. And in order to recycle garbage, we can use recycle bins or recycling bins. So these are containers for waste that can be recycled, like separate ones for paper waste, separate ones for plastic waste, separate ones for glass, and so on. Then disposable. This is an adjective which denotes a product which is meant to be thrown away after use. And the fact that there are so many disposable products nowadays poses a huge threat to the environment. Yes, because we're turning the world into a landfill by throwing out so many disposable products. Some of the disposable products, however, are biodegradable. It means that they are able to decay or decompose naturally and in a way that is not harmful to the environment. For example, paper bags are biodegradable, but plastic ones, unfortunately, are not biodegradable. Finally, the last term for today is carbon footprint. So, carbon footprint is a measurement of the amount of carbon dioxide, which is toxic for the environment, produced by the activities of an individual, a company, or an organization. And like the examples of activities that determine a person's or an organization's carbon footprint are the usage of electricity, oil, natural gas, car mileage, and airplane trips. So it's everyone's goal to uh, reduce the carbon footprint. Okay, so as for pictures 1 and 4 on the next slide, what can we see here? Uh, okay, biodegradable, you think. The first one you think is biodegradable. But one of the containers has plastic in it, which is not biodegradable. It's a recycling bin. It's a recycling bin. Then the fourth one is poaching. Absolutely right, poaching. Okay, and we have yet pictures 2 and 3 to deal with. So a tiger. A tiger, unfortunately, is what kind of animal? Yes, it's an endangered species. That's true. And finally, in picture 3, we can see some toxic. Yeah, so again, toxic chemicals which are thrown into the air. What do we call those? Emissions. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so now I'm done with my explanations. It's time for you to complete the exercise I have prepared for you. So there are 18 sentences on there are 18 sentences. There is a total of 18 sentences. Let's deal with the first part. Now I'll show you the keys and then we'll move on to the second part. Okay, any ideas regarding this part? Okay, very good. Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do a couple more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All correct. So here are the keys. Number one, shop assistants. Number two, AI. Number three, deforestation. Number four, privacy. Number five, computer literate. And number six, tone deaf. Um, let's move on to the second part. Mm-hmm. Yes, number seven is correct. Number eight is correct as well. Number 11 is right. Mm, number 10. Okay, this could have been banned. This could have been a band, but there is another, and this could have been. No, I doubt that this could have been a gig, like a school gig. Um, remember, like when a group of people sings together, this is not always a band, not always a group. There is another word for it. Choir, absolutely. Choir. Okay, and what about the last point? Javan rhinos are among the world's most endangered species. Yes, that is right. Okay, so let's take a look at the keys right here. Number seven, lyrics. Number eight, recycling bins. Number nine, to shop around. So this is actually the one you have missed because it's probably new. Yes, it's better to shop around instead of buying things on the first impulse. Number 10 is choir, number 11 is memes, and number 12 is endangered. And finally, let's take a look at the third portion of sentences. Excellent. Number 13 is right. Coaching, number 14 is also right. The 15s too. Mm, mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It has all been correct. Let's take a look at the keys. So, number 13 is window shopping. Number 14 is poaching. Number 15 is catchy. 16 is overpriced. 17 is biodegradable. And number 18 is tech savvy. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your hard work and your participation. Thank you for having me here today. If you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.